Good morning, friends. Happy Thursday, Friday Eve, one step closer to the weekend. Hey, Paloma, good morning. Buenos dias. So, y'all, I have to change things up today. I know my sticker says that I'm supposed to be making the Mucho Mango blanket, but do you ever have those days where you're like, I don't want to work on that today? That's one of these days. And I didn't feel like changing up my sticker and event and all that. So today we're not working on the Mucho Mango blanket. Instead, I'm going to make another twist ear warmer because I don't feel like working on that blanket. But that's okay. I really love working on these twisty ear warmers. They're very easy and fun to do. Angela, good morning. Miss Mary is here. Good morning. Deborah, good morning. Mama Bird is here. Gen X, good morning. Thank you all so much for the heart me's that are flying in this morning. Appreciate it. So, just to make things really confusing today, guys, I'm not working on the Mucho Mango blanket. I don't feel like it. Instead, I'm going to do twisty ear warmers. A twisty ear warmer. So, here's one that I finished this morning. And I actually did 3 strands on this one. But they're very easy to do. And a lot of times, folks like me, we have long hair. Sometimes we don't want to do a beanie, it's just like too much. But our ears get a little cold, get a little chilly in the winter. And these little headbands are really, really nice. So here's another example of one. I did this one yesterday. I'm making these to donate. I'm going to send these up to Nashville Launchpad. This one I did 2 strands, and I had this little green shiny yarn, and I had some of this other, it has like hemp in it. So you can mix and match all your colors. Now, the thing is, when I make these, we like to do basically like a bulky weight yarn. And a lot of times I don't have a lot of bulky weight yarn because it's really not my favorite thing to do. So all I do is I put 2 strands together. So here's what I pulled out for this morning. I have a grip of this yarn right here. It is called Heat Wave. Probably not good in Arizona right now, but thinking ahead to the colder months, this is by Red Heart. And normally I wouldn't have bought this yarn, but I found it at Ollie's on clearance. I found it at Ollie's. Paloma, thank you so much for the budding hearts there. And you can see I paid a whopping $2.99 for this. It's called Summer Night. I don't know if this is still being manufactured. Y'all, I caught it on sale. It was one of those things. I'm still stash busting, right? But I did pull out of my stash this yarn to put with it. What do we think? Lion Brand Landscapes. I'm pretty sure Lion Brand Landscapes is still being manufactured. When I got this, how I got this, how long I've had this, y'all, I have no clue. I've had it for a while. But look at that. Don't you think that would look nice with this black for a little twisty ear warmer? It's really pretty. It's shiny. It's really nice. Sherilyn, good morning. Kazi, good morning. Welcome in, everybody. So, pardon me. My sticker and everything, my event says today we're working on the um, Mucho Mango blanket. And y'all, I don't feel like working on that today. So instead, we're going to make a twisty ear warmer. So, and we're going to use these colors right here, black and this really pretty blue. Ashton, good morning. Veronica, good morning. Rachel is in the house. Hannah, good morning. Debbie says, do what you need to do. Cute headwear. I love multiple strands. Yeah, so I'm going to do 2 strands at once is kind of what the plan is. Now, the other important thing we have today, we have the subscriber celebration at 8 Central Time. And I've got the little thing all made up. So one of the mods, or you all, are going to have to remind me when we get close to 8 so we can pause and do that. Jennifer, good morning. Yolanda, good morning. Rita is here. Debbie, good morning. Everybody's hopping on. Valvox, good morning. Paloma is here. Paloma's on YouTube and on TikTok this morning. Mimi, good morning. Karen is here. Kim, good morning. I know you all are excited about the subscriber celebration for this month. And I have closed it for this month. All the entries are made on the tablet, and so I don't really want to add any more. But if you missed out on the July celebration, don't worry. we're going to have another one just as fabulous for the month of August. So I'm going to start and I'm going to leave quite a long tail. That way I can use this to weave in and close up my twisty ear warmer. I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook and we're going to do a bunch of chains. So I right now am making these to give away. So I'm kind of guesstimating what people's head size is, and I'm kind of basing it at about a 21-inch ear warmer. When I do 21 inches, that works out for me to be 62 chains. This one's about 20 inches. Um, no, I guess 10 and a half and 10 and a half. I guess that's about 21 inches. So what you have to do is you have to measure your own head as you're making these, okay? Candy, good morning. Yolanda, good morning. Here's the other one that I whipped up. I've been working on these. I'm stash busting, y'all. This one's a 22-inch, so a little bigger head size. So you'll have to measure your own head size and then decide, what size you want to do for you. But for me, I'm going to chain 62. Leah, good morning. Sandy, good morning. Here we go. I'm gonna do some counting now, friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Guys, when you're making your chains, make sure you leave them stretchy, okay? Don't get them too tight. All right, we need another 25. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, there's 50. I need 12 more for 62. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Val blocks, that is a great question. I'm using a size K 10 and a half hook this morning. Now, here's the thing. I don't have a lot of bulky weight yarn. It's not something that I typically buy, but I have a lot of 4 weight. Okay. So you can see this one is a 4. These twisty ear warmers, they work better with a thicker yarn. And this one's a 4. So what I'm doing is I'm putting 2 size 4 strands together. I'm double stranding it. And I'm using a size K 10.5 hook. I don't know what the millimeters is on that. Y'all are going to have to check it out. Oh, this colorway, by the way, I don't know if this is still being sold, but this one is called Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon, and then I've got a black yarn that I'm using. And this yarn is the Heat Wave. I just had it in my stash. I picked this up at Ollie for cheap. So anyhow, that's what we're working with this morning. Okay, so what you would do once you get your chains where you think it's big enough, you would wrap this around your head, guys, around your ears and the back of your head and up to your forehead, and make sure that this is about the big enough size that you would like. Okay, so everybody's head size is a little different, and you can customize this to fit you. So if your head is smaller, you're going to do less chains. If you have a bigger head, you're going to do more chains. So again, you can test this to size. I would literally wrap this around my head and measure. And then once you get it kind of as big as you want, make sure it's not too tight. You want it to have kind of some stretch, right? You don't want to put too much pressure on your ears. Okay. Now, this headband ear warmer is very, very easy. It is all half double crochets. I'm going to skip, we don't count this chain on our hook. We're going to skip the first stitch here, and I'm going to work into the back bump, and I'm going to do a half double into this back bump all the way across. Now, when you look at your stitches, you can see one side has like a sideways V, okay? If you turn it the other way, you can see this little hump here, back bump, back loop. Everybody calls it something different. I call it the back bump. That is where I'm going to work my half double. So if we look at our ear warmer, you can see by working in that bump, what it does is it leaves this really nice finished edge. And of course, on the other side, when you finish your half double, you're also going to have that finished edge. So that is why I really like to work in that back bump. Here you can see it again. This was one side where I worked into the back bump, and of course the other. So it gives you a nice finished edge on both sides. Both sides. JT, good morning. Pam is here. Good morning. Friends, we're going to do the subscriber celebration at 8 o'clock this morning, 8 o'clock Central. So we have a few minutes here to get our little project started. Then we're going to pause and do that. And I'm very excited. It's another month in coming to a close. MJ, good morning. How are you? Okay, so we're going to skip the first stitch into the back bump. We're going to do a half double crochet. If you need a nice in-between project, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm stash busting. I've made so many blankets this year, and I'm just kind of burned out on blankets right now. So I'm doing some other type of projects and just getting some stash busting going and taking a little break, and then I'll go back to making the blanket. So I apologize, guys. I know the event all says we're working on the Mucho Mango blanket. I woke up this morning and I said, meh, mango. I'm not feeling like working on that project today. We're going to do something different. So we're making a twist ear warmer this morning, a twisty ear warmer. I know it's like early and a lot of us are in the hundreds and it's hot out there. But as you know, winter will be here before you know it. Red Lady, good morning. Let's see. Who was getting some storms? Oh, Bengals gal. Glad I got up when I did. Would have been woken up by thunderstorms in a bit. Uh-oh. Definitely stormy weather out there. So again, friends, I'm just working along this chain and I'm adding a half double into each of the stitches. Very, very easy. This is a great beginner friendly project. If you're new to crocheting, if you know how to make a chain and a half double, you can most certainly make this project. And it works up pretty quick. I can usually do one before I have to go to work in the mornings if I'm just sitting here chilling. And I've been making a bunch of them. I'm going to donate all mine. I'm going to send them up to Nashville Launchpad along with the beanies and bucket hats and stuff that I've been doing. But me personally, I have really long hair. And sometimes I don't want to wear a beanie, like it's too much, or even a bucket hat, because my hair is just big and in the way, you know? And these little ear warmers are great because if it's cold outside, it gets the job done without, doing a whole lot of hair stuff. So anyhow, making ear warmers this morning. Stacy, good morning. Paloma's already thinking about Christmas gifts. Yeah, now is the time to kind of start thinking about that, I guess. Maybe start thinking about your fall projects. You know what's been weighing on my mind? I need to get going on my county fair projects. Because I'll tell you what, when is county fair? October? And we're getting ready to head to August. That leaves me 2 months. Yeah, the clock is ticking. I better get it together, y'all. I better get it together. So I'm just stash busting, y'all. I don't know if this yarn is still available. Does anybody know? Is Lion Brand still making the landscapes yarn? It really is beautiful yarn. They have a variety of colors of this too. This one was also the landscapes. Um, that I oh no, this one was Red Heart. This one's very similar though. This one was Red Heart Unforgettable, but the same type of yarn for that other one. This is another landscapes I was doing. I already made some of this. Here you can see I got this one for $3 on clearance. But it was also the landscapes. Desert Spring. I've got a bunch of these. Yes, they are still making that yarn. All right. Well, there you go. That's awesome. You can see I've been really stash busting a lot. I'm pretty proud of myself. You guys are going to get to see a whole lot of hats and uh, beanies and all sorts of stuff. I've got to be doing some photographing. Good morning, Hema. I don't know if I said that right. Arlene says Wisconsin State Fair starts today and goes for 10 days. Yeah, everybody's county fair is a little different. time zones, different times a year. Some of them are in the spring. So you have to look in your area and see. Ours is in the fall though, when they do ours here in Alabama. Holly, good morning. Let's see. Debbie, good morning. How are you? Welcome in everybody. We've had to change plans this morning. I woke up, I'm supposed to be working on the mucho mango blanket, but I didn't feel it this morning. Do you ever have those days where you're like the night before you're like, I'm going to get up and work on this. And then that day arrives and you're like, "Meh, I'm not working on that today." Today was one of those days. I was like, I'm not working on mucho mango blanket. I want to work on these pretty colorways of blue. Me oh my, it's so pretty. It was calling to me better than the mucho mango. I'll get back to the mucho mango eventually. So anyhow, let's see. Paloma says that landscapes colorway reminds me of Northern Lights. It does. It does. It's got that little hint of green in there. And look at the beautiful purple. They should have called it Northern Lights. What did they call this one? What did I say it was? Blue Lagoon. I guess it's Blue Lagoon too. It does feel like oceany. But I'm with you, Paloma. I feel like it looks more like Northern Lights. Pretty nice colorway. Let's see. Arlene says I've done that many times. I know. I have good intentions, and then it's like, oh no, sorry, my brain's not going to do that today. Not interested. Susan, good morning. Friends, we're going to do the subscriber celebration at 8. I have closed the entries for the month of July. The list is already made. So a little before 8, we'll go over that list. And this is a new skein. It's got like twisted up here. Let me see if I can get this. I don't know what it's doing. I didn't have too much yarn barf with this one this morning, but it is kind of twisted up here. So let me see if I can figure out what is happening here. Momentary pause. Here we go. This is what's happening. Pull this out. Red Lady, thank you so much for the summer suns. I know here it is. I'm working on winter stuff and it's like July, summertime. Rita, good morning. All right. All right. We're back good now. All right. So all I'm doing is a half double crochet into the back bump all the way across. My starting chain I did was 62. I'm using a size K, 10 and a half, 10.5 hook. And I'm sorry, what did you guys say the millimeters is on that? Was it a 7 millimeter? I can't remember. My hooks always say the numbers on them because they're old vintage hooks. They didn't, I don't think they did millimeters back then. If they did, it's not listed on the hooks. Let's see, 6.5 millimeter. All right, so K, 10 and a half, 6.5 millimeter. Kelly said, I never thought about double stranding this yarn before you did it last week. I do that a lot. You know who else does it a lot is our friend JT. He is like the king of double stranding and really makes some beautiful blankets and stuff using 2 strands. And a lot of times it gives it a really nice kind of effect. You can see how this blue is working with the black. I'm excited for it to change to the green. Here's another one I did with the double strand. This one I actually did 3 strands. So this pink and bluish color, it was very, very thin. And so I actually did 2 strands. You can see I've got a little blue and the pink. And then I also did the black. So that one I did with 3 strands. This one I did with 2 strands. This one I had a little thin green, and then I had some hemp yarn that I used. I had a bunch of this in my stash. This rustic romantic. That's what this one is. I paired it with the shiny green. Now, one of the questions that I got asked on my videos, guys, this is 85% acrylic, 15% hemp. When you're mixing medias like this, the best thing to do, uh-oh, I've got stray dogs out there in my yard. I hope they don't get the chickens or come for Diesel. Oh, hopefully they go away. I hate it when neighbors let their animals like run wild. Never a good thing. They went off screen now. I can see them on the camera out there in the deer pasture. Hopefully they'll go back down the driveway where they came. Um, I've had dogs come in and they uh, they take out the chickens. Okay, I don't know how to say that nice. It's unfortunate when it happens. Christine, good morning. Hirschner's has free shipping on Big Twist only today. Wow, that's a good deal. Hirschner's shipping can be kind of costly. I always wait for one of those sales. Anyhow, as I was saying, when you mix medias like this, the care instructions for each yarn might be different. So it's important if you are gifting your project, you can mix the medias. What you need to do though is make sure you alert the recipient and just tell them to hand wash cold and dry flat. That way, it will take care of any shrinkage or anything like that. Because if they adjust at different, like for example, if I put a wool and acrylic together, you normally wouldn't do that, but for sometimes hats, I do it. And it's just important to let them know you wouldn't want somebody to throw the wool in the dryer, right? Because it's going to shrink up. So definitely, now if you're doing acrylic and acrylic, two different colorways, and the care instructions are the same, then it's not a thing, right? You could, but just follow the label directions as they're written. But if you choose to mix medias like I'm doing today, this one says machine wash gentle, lay flat to dry. This is 100% acrylic. This one says machine wash and dry. Still, as a precaution, because they are different fibers, I will still put some kind of a note in the card or something that says we will, no machine wash, but hand wash and lay flat to dry is the best thing for that. Okay, we're almost to the end here. And this is where we're going to start adding some texture to this project on the next row here. So 2 more half doubles. Again, I'm working into the back bump of the chain. This is the last stitch here for the chain. Okay, now, again, before you go much further on your project, what I would recommend if you're making this for yourself, you would want to take your ear warmer, wrap it around your head. Now, when you sew this together, you're going to lose a little bit here from sewing it. But wrap this around. Make sure this is fitting comfortably on your head, okay? You don't want to do the whole thing and then go to put it on and it's like, oh, shoot, it's too tight or it's way too loose. So definitely take the opportunity to do another measurement. It's better to frog it out now if it's the wrong size and do it, change it up before you get too much farther. I'm going to chain one. I'm going to turn my work. Now, this chain that I did does not count as a stitch. So I'm immediately going to work into the first stitch here. And when we look at our crochet stitches, you can see they look like a little sideways V, okay? Now, bear in mind, I'm using 2 strands, so we've got the teal color and the black, and then on this side, we have the teal color and the black, so you have 2 on each. Normally, we would work under all of these loops, both sides, and instead, for this project, what we're going to do is we're going to work under the back loop only. This loop that is facing me, I'm sitting here in my chair, just like as you would looking at your work. This one that's closest to me is called the front loop. This one that is away from me is called the back loop. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into that first stitch. So again, here's the chain I made. Ignore that. Obviously, the loop on your hook does not count. We're going to do a half double in the back loop only. So I skip the front, go into the back, and I do a half double. Now, if you are a new crocheter, it can become a little confusing as you're first doing your first stitch. So what I recommend at this point is to get a little stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker, use a bobby pin, a safety pin, a bread tie, whatever you've got hanging around, and you're going to designate that as your first stitch. That way you know when you get there, you're coming up to the end. Hey, Sparky, good morning. Arlene says, I usually give the yarn label with the piece that I have made. That works too, Arlene. Definitely. So once again, I'm going to move to the next stitch, ignoring the front loops, going into the back. We're going to do the half doubles, and we're going to do this all the way down. So again, this whole project is made with your starting chain, and the rest is all half doubles. Very, very easy. Ooh, look at that color change. That is nice, huh? I don't know if I made a color change sticker. I made one for Maggie. I don't know if I made one for myself. I probably should have. Wisha said I use bobby pins. Lynn said, what is the blue yarn made out of? It is gorgeous. It certainly is, Lynn. So if you're just hopping on, this is some yarn I had in my stash. I don't know if they're making this particular colorway, but it is called Lion Brand Landscapes. And this is the colorway Blue Lagoon, but it's got some nice purple in there we're going to get to eventually. I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Nikki, thank you so much for the gifts this morning. Welcome in, everybody. I apologize. I know the event says we are working today on the Mucho Mango blanket. I changed it up. I didn't feel like doing that today. So instead, we are making a twist ear warmer, a twisty ear warmer. And basically what it looks like is this. So we're making this little tube thing. You can see how you have these lines of texture. That is what we're working to accomplish right now. So by working into the back loop, we're going to naturally create these and give this a really fun uh, texture. Okay, so here is one. I did 2 strands on this one. I did actually 3 strands on this one to get it bulky enough. And it just kind of gives it a fun effect. And for the one today, I had this Red Heart Heat Wave in my stash, heat generating yarn. I thought, well, that would be good for when my ears get cold in the winter, right? And I normally wouldn't have bought something like this, but I found it at our Ollie's, gosh, probably a year ago. Yes, it's like a headband, Margaret, exactly. But it's warm, so you can wear it like in the winter. And that way, I have really long hair, so sometimes putting on a beanie is not what I would really prefer to do. But I picked this up at Ollie's, so I'm just using it up. This is a great project for stash busting. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do this morning. So I'm working into the back bump, or excuse me, into the back loop. This line that you're seeing form here, that is the front loop that we are leaving behind. So it is going to give it this really fabulous texture. Ava said, Michaels makes something very close to Lion Brand Landscape. Red Heart does as well. Mrs. Melody said it's nice to wear with a ponytail. With a ponytail, absolutely. Danny Lee, good morning. I don't know if I said good morning. Wisha said, this is my first time following someone live, so there is a lot going on. Yes, I try to do some teaching on my lives. If you are new to my channel, welcome in. My name is April, and I am a hobby crocheter, but I do come live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7:30 Central. I do a variety of projects. I do blankets, I do baby blankets, I do a little amigurumi. Um, in this case, I'm making headbands, hats, scarves. I don't know what else do I do, guys. I do a number of things. So every day is something different. And this morning I had planned on working on the Mucho Mango blanket. I set up that event like a week ago. And this morning I woke up and I was like, meh, I don't feel like working on a blanket this morning. Let's make a headband instead. So so that is what we're doing. And I am using 2 strands of yarn with this. So as I'm working it, you'll see sometimes I will drop a stitch. Make sure you're getting both strands as you're pulling up your half doubles. It does kind of take a little bit of a while to get the hang of how to use 2 strands. You can see my green here is twisting up. So you'll see me kind of straighten this out as I'm going along. You want to keep these like uniform and nicely together. You don't want one sagging and one tight. You want them kind of coming out of however you hold your hand, very consistent. That way it'll keep your stitches very nice and even. We're going to do a total of 8 rows of the half doubles into the back loop. So I do a total of 8. Now you could make this smaller if you prefer. You just would need to measure. I liked mine to be roughly about 5 inches. I feel like that gives enough of the ear coverage, and it just is kind of nice around my head. So see how that stitch there is kind of bowing out. Let's redo that one. See how I dropped the loop? The green is no longer on my hook. So when you work with a double strand, you do have to really pay attention to these strands as you're working them and make sure that you're not dropping any of the yarn. Okay. So definitely watch as you're doing it. There's my mom. Mama Wheeler is back. Good morning, Mom. How are you? Myra, I'm working with a K10.5 hook this morning, which I think we said is a 6.5 millimeter. Arlene, I have not made slippers. I have not made slippers. My mom has been up in Oregon visiting my niece, and so she's been off the live for a couple weeks, but they made it back home last night. And anyhow, I'm excited to have Mom back here. Mom, you've been missing all sorts of fun stuff. Still tired but happy. Mama needs coffee. Yes, Mama, get you some coffee. Get you some coffee. Catherine, good morning. I have the loops and threads facets that like this, and it twists up on me. Yeah, different yarns. Here I've missed another stitch. Do you see how I've got only the green here? I've left the black. So definitely keep an eye on that yarn. Now I did miss one on the pink one that I made. Sometimes it doesn't cooperate with me. I missed one on this as I was making it. So what I did, I noticed it when I was coming back around, there was a loop like bowing down. So what I did is I got my crochet hook and I reached down to that loop that was down here and I pulled it up to the top and I looped it into my next stitch. So that is another way you can do that as well. When joining with a slip stitch, does it leave a bump or lay flat? It kind of leaves a bump for me, but it's still pretty flat. Is that what you mean, just a Gen X girl? Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Today we are uh, making a twist ear warmer. Let me see if I have something here. Um, here's just a Gen X girl. Here's one that I made with a slip stitch. You can see right here, I slip stitched across. So it does leave the back stitch there showing. And here's where I slip stitch. So it is like thicker than your normal stitch. It's hard to see that white. I don't know if I have another square here. Let me see what else I've got. Let's see what else we've got hanging around here. Here's a brown. Oh, that one I didn't slip stitch. We could try it though. Let me get a hook here. Let's just pretend. Okay, so let's pretend we're slip stitching. I'm going to pull up a loop, pull through, go under the next one, pull up my loop, pull through, go through the next, pull up a loop, pull through. So what I was saying, see how it makes it like a double layer? So you've got this stitch where I just slip stitched, but it also leaves this one behind. So it does look a little thicker. Does that help, Jen? Just a Gen X girl? Working on a cardigan and I need to join the sides. Join the sides. I think a slip stitch would work fine. Please show the front of the poinsettia square again. Sure thing. Here's the poinsettia square. We worked on this yesterday. Friends, this video is over on YouTube if you want to rewatch it. My handle over there is Wheeler 8 Acres. It is 8 a.m. Okay, y'all, we have to pause here for an intermission. Let me get my other tablet here. I changed tablets. I broke down and got an iPad, y'all. I was so tired, as a lot of you know, on some of my other when I let me get this going here. Oops. I guess it would help if I typed right. When I go on other people's lives, sometimes you can't see the comments, which is really annoying. We're going to have a bit of a glare here. Let me see if I can move this. Okay, so we're going to do the subscriber celebration, y'all. I've added everybody's name to the list. We had this month 135 on TikTok, and we had one over on YouTube. And our YouTube is Queen 530 Esther. So she has been added twice because she pays for a. Let me move this off to the side. I'm trying to get these lights so we don't have as much glare. Is that any better? Okay, so let's run down this list. Do you guys want me to read the names? Is that helpful if I read them off? Some people have icons at the very beginning of their name, so it pushes them to the front. We've got the Sparkly Witch, Betty, Neat 67, Kimberly with sunflowers, TSH Designs by Karen, Kazi, Ayo, Lou's Crocheted Creations, Deborah Rocks, Vicky, Sparky Creates, Four Daughters Crochet. Now these are all alphabetically from here. Adriana Davis, Alex A, All About Hank, Amanda Jo Thornton, Amanda Robinson, Amy, Andrea Sabato, Angie Lamb, Angie Lewis, Anvil Head, Arlene, Bad Bishes, Bloom 99, Brooke, Sassy Bee Craftology, Cassie Derwin, Catherine Handmade, CC2, DCS3, Gaga, Cheryl, Cheryl Broad, Cheryl Lynn. We've got three Cheryls. Karina, Dana K actually pays for two subscriptions on TikTok, so she's on there twice. Danny Lee, Darlene Owens, Debbie Taylor, Debbie 57, Deborah 50 or Deborah Bales, Diane Franco, Dodie, Donna White, Edika Moon, Elizabeth, Elsie Yarn, Funny 67, Gloria, Golf Widow, Gretchen, Hannah, Heather, Kate Moonchild, Hillary, Jeanette Cookman, Gen X, Jennifer, Joan F, Jody Lynn, Joni, JT, Son of a Stitch, Judy Worthington, Julie S, Just a Gen X Girl, Caroline, K Genius, Karen Goodwin, Carla, Catherine Markson, Catherine Morey, Kelly with an I, Kian Rocky, Kim, Kimberly Wilkins, Kimberly, Yarnball Diamond, Naughty Wendy, Kristen Sue, Laura Dillon, Lee, Leapin' Llamas, Leanimal Lefty, Leslie, Life with Kayla, Linda's Crochet, Linda K, Mad Red, Maggie, Magical Unicorn, Maha, Mama C, Mama Wheeler, Marie Rose, Marla Dix, Melissa Cozy Hive, Mello, Mimi, Missy, Misty Museum, Mo, Mrs. Melody, Mrs. Tommy, Mumpy's, Nana Juju, Net, Nikki Hazing, Paloma, Pam, Pam Meyer, Pam Beach Vibes, Paula, Queen 530. Again, Queen 530 has TikTok and on YouTube. Queen Pugs, Rachel A. Crochets, Red Lady, Reese, Rita Cat, Sandy, So Gloria, Shannon Brenner, Shauna Solomon, Susan Coleman, Taylor, Teresa, Texas Whiskey, Summer Storm, Tony Ann, Tanya's, Vanessa, Veronica, Victoria, Vielka, Westy Lover, and Wheeler 8 Acres Monitor. I'm going to get rid of that, okay? I just have that extra one. I pay for a subscription so I can see what you all see. Whew, that's quite the list, y'all. Anyhow, for our subscribers, that is everybody. Let's shuffle her up. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. I don't know if I have my volume up. Let's see if I can turn up my volume. Oh, yeah, my volume is up. Yes, Karen, you are at the very top here. Well, you were. Hang on, let me put it back alphabetical. Karen, there you are. Anybody else not seeing their name? It's right there, Karen. If you have an icon in front of your name, it goes to the very top, okay, when you sort it alphabetically. Anybody else not seeing their name that they think should be on the list? Now's your chance. Speak now. Okay, let's shuffle some more. I'm going to pull this to the side, y'all, and when we do the little spinny thing. Cassie. Uh-oh, now I got to resort. Cassie, you're on there. Let's see. There you are right here, Cassie. Anybody else? Are we ready to shuffle? Shuffling, shuffling. Shay, good morning. You're just in time. Add Puggy. Puggy, did you do a subscription? I already cut it off as of yesterday. Texas Whiskey, you are on there. There you are right there, Texas. All right, here we go, friends. I think we're shuffled enough. I'm going to pull this to the side. Let's do our little thing. Yes, Sandy, you are on there. All right, here we go. Funny 67. Funny 67 just popped on. There you are. Just in time. How about that? Congratulations. Congratulations. You popped on right at the nick of time, although you don't have to be present to win. But thank you, everybody, for your subscriptions for the month of June, or July, I mean. Very, very exciting. Funny, congratulations. Thank you for your support. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Yeah, so happy. I will DM you for this month. It is 4 cinnamon swirl cakes. So I'll DM you if you have some colors in mind that you would like. Just let me know. You can send me a message as well, and I will get those sent out directly from Michael's. But congratulations. Thank you, everybody, for your subscription for the month of July. I really appreciate it. I will say we have had so many subscribers. We had 135 for the month of July. And so for the month of August, I assume it's going to be kind of the same amount. And so we've got a great thing planned out for August as well. Um, one of my yarns that I really like to use is I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. Now, I know some people have where they do not purchase from that company, and I get that. So, for the month of August, which we have upcoming, I have decided to do 10 skeins. It has to be on the sale week where it's 30% off. 10 skeins of the I love this yarn. Mix and match the colors however you want. 10 skeins. If you do not like the company and you want to opt for an Amazon gift card instead, you could do that as well. So that is what we are planning for August, okay? So, anyhow, I appreciate everybody's support. I hope you like that idea for the month of August. You guys are all so supportive of me. It's just my way of saying thank you. Do I ever use hand spun? Caroline, I do sometimes, but I'm really cheap. I'm pretty I know I can't even say frugal. I'm just cheap. I do so much yarn. Kazi said I would love to win that. We don't have I love this yarn in Australia. That is what gave me the idea actually, because our friend Hannah as well, who is in France, is also always talking about the I love this yarn. And I know she has always been thinking about doing it. And so, anyhow, that's why I thought it would be a good idea for August for some of those that don't. Now, again, if you are not a supporter of Hobby Lobby and you are, the lucky guy or gal for August, you could also opt for that Amazon gift card as well in place if you don't support Hobby Lobby. All right. How many international subs do we have? Gen X, that is a great question. Honestly, I do not know. I have no way of knowing because it doesn't really give anybody's location. But if you are international and you are a subscriber, it's all good. It's all good, and it will come. All right. So I know we have Hannah. I know Kazi's in Australia. I think we have some folks in Canada as well, but I couldn't tell you. All right, friends, here we are with we're to our very last stitch. Now, you guys know I have been working in the back loop only. When I get to the last stitch, I'm actually going to work under both these loops, okay? What this does is it makes it a little more secure on this edge, a little more stable, and it gives me a little more to sew into when we close this up. Okay, so once again, last stitch, I go under both loops. Chain 1, turn my work. Now, once again, I'm going to be working into the back loop. Mello, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You guys, I love all y'all, and you guys are so supportive of me. I really, really appreciate it. It's just my way of saying thank you. Obviously, the more that we have, the better the stuff. Okay, because I like to give a big chunk of it back to you guys. The other part, of course, I've got to pay for the shipping of the celebration item and everything. So, Caroline is a spinner. Oh, that's awesome. I love watching spinning. Um, Caroline, I don't know if it's Carolyn or Caroline. I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. A lot of my stuff I do for donation, and if I was making something for myself, I would definitely use kind of some fancier yarns. Now, I do have some stuff like, to me, this is fancy, but a lot of my yarn I do just acrylic yarn, 4-weight acrylic, because I make a lot of blankets, baby blankets and whatnot. Um, let's see. Today I'm making a twisty ear warmer. If you're just hopping on, this is what we're making. So, I have long hair, and a lot of times when it's cold, I don't want to put on a beanie because it messes with my hair. And so what I'm doing is I'm making a little ear warmer for when it gets cold. Here's one example, but you put this little twist on it. This is what it looks like on the inside. So it sits flat against your forehead. You could also put this towards the back and just have the solid piece in the front as well. I was supposed to be working on the Mucho Mango blanket today, and I woke up and I was like, meh, I'm not doing the Mucho Mango blanket. We're doing something else. So as you guys know, I've been doing a lot of stash busting. I've just been trying to use up yarns that I've got laying around that have been collecting dust. Stuff that looks like this, where it's like seen better days. Stuff that maybe I got on clearance. This I'll probably make into I'll probably get a beanie, a bucket hat, and an ear warmer out of this easily. So stuff like this, I'm just trying to use up. I've got piles of this beside me as I'm just trying to use up some of these different yarns. Very random stuff, some of it. So I've been using some of this paint box that I had. Again, I'm putting it together with another strand to get it thicker. So I'm turning it like into a bulky weight yarn, is what I'm doing. I've had some of this. I think I had like, I don't know, like 8 skeins of the Rustic Romantic. I don't know what I was planning on doing with it or if it was gifted to me. I really don't know. But, this right here was made with the Rustic Romantic. So I put some green that I had with it and just kind of gave it a different look. So it wasn't, but I've done like some bucket hats just playing with that. So you name it, I've got piles of it next to me. I pulled these out. Lighthouse plume, 50% merino wool, 25% acrylic. Again, it's pretty thin yarn, so I would, partner it with something that I've got. So just trying to do some stash busting. But what we did to start this out, if you are just joining on, I chained a total of 62 chains. Now, as you're making this for yourself, you do what you think is going to be the right amount, and then you wrap this around your head and you make sure it's big enough and not too tight. Or if it's too big, you're going to want to, make your chain smaller. Okay, so you customize it to whatever size your head is. And so that's when I did the very first chain here. Then instead of working into where it has the V, I actually worked into the back loop or the back bump for my first half double crochet. And now all I'm doing is working half doubles the whole way. So again, we chained one. This chain one that you see right here, does not count as a stitch. What I'm doing is working directly into this first stitch, and I'm placing a half double into the back loop. Now, once again, if you are new to crochet, it's very important here. Get yourself a little stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker, use a bobby pin, use a safety pin, use a bread clip, whatever you've got, be innovative and mark your first stitch here. This will help you to identify that when you get to the end of the row. So once again, as we look at our crochet stitches, you can see we have 2 loops. Now bear in mind, because I'm using 2 strands, I've got the teal and also the black. And then on this side, I've got the black and teal. So normally when we do our stitches, we go under, both these loops. In this case, there's actually 4. When we're doing this project, we're going only under the back loop. So as you're looking at your work, this loop that is facing me is called the front loop. This loop that is away from me is the back loop. And so we're just going under that back loop as we're making these half doubles. So I yarn over, again, skip the front, go under those 2 strands in the back, draw up a loop. So now we have 3, and yarn over and pull through all 3. Once again, move to the next stitch, half double. And what you will see happen on this project by working into this back loop is you're going to start to see a really cool line of texture form on your project that gives it like some definition and stuff. And that is a really nice way to, add some really cool look to it without really doing a whole lot of work. Crochet is kind of an illusion that way. Sorry, y'all. Let me catch back up on these comments again. Um, Yeah, everybody, we really miss seeing Mama Wheeler. So I'm glad she's home safe and sound. But she had a fabulous trip with my niece, you guys. They had a great visit. They were there for like 4 days up there in Oregon, visiting. They got to see my is it my great nephew? I can't ever remember what it's called. I think we said it's a great nephew. And he's just super cute. He's 7 months old, and so anyhow, it's really exciting. They had a great visit, and Mama Wheeler got to hit some thrift stores while she was up there. She didn't find any Susan Bates hooks, but she did find some old boy hooks that she picked up while she was thrifting. So that was a really good thing as well. You can't ever go to another town without hitting the thrift stores, right? Oh gosh, you guys already hit that gift goal. Let me reset this gift goal. Thank you all so much for all of the screen taps. We are at 20,000 taps this morning. Thank you, friends, everybody, for tapping your screens. I hope everybody is having a fabulous Thursday. Friday Eve, as I like to say, and one step closer to the weekend. It's changing to like a teal color now. It transitioned from this green to like a teal. I think, is purple going to be next? I can't tell what comes after. I'm excited to get to that purple. Maggie said it's her Friday. Oh, nice, Maggie. Nice, nice. Friday Eve. Friday Eve. I wanted to know, let me look on my moderator account here. I This TikTok has been active. Oh, I do see them. Okay. It's weird when I look on the sub stickers. I see all the ones that I put in there, and then I see all the ones that are like the star. But it's weird when I look on the like admin side of things, I don't see like the lions and the love, these ones. It's weird. I don't see them on the admin side. That's why I was like, I actually put in a help desk ticket to TikTok because I'm like, where are all of my sub stickers that we earned? And so, anyhow, I'm glad to see them there. That's actually why I subscribed to myself. I know it's kind of weird that I subscribed to myself, but it's the only way I could see. Debbie says, I hate when I kick myself out. That happens to me too all the time. I know I'm on lives and everybody's like, why do you keep coming in and out? It's like, well, because I accidentally scrolled up too far when I was trying to read the comments. Tony Ann, good morning. Welcome in, everybody. Did I see? Oh, yeah, Maggie's here. It's her Friday. Y'all, if you are not following Maggie, you are missing out. You are definitely missing out. So definitely give her a follow. Also, Karen was here this morning. I know you guys are always asking where I get the hook minders, and I make my own hook minders, but Miss Karen makes the hook minders along with the knot slayers. If you guys are interested in the knot slayers, reach out to Miss Karen on her YouTube. She's the one that makes these very handy tools to have. So be sure and give her a follow. Etta said, I love that yarn. Rachel's here too, guys. Definitely give Rachel a follow as well. Seriously, if you guys are looking to grow your accounts, just put some yarn balls in the chat. Y'all follow each other, pick each other up, support each other. Like, I can't shout out everybody. Anybody who's here watching in this community is absolutely fabulous. So seriously, spam the chat if you guys want. Pick each other up, watch each other's videos, support each other. There is nothing better than a big group of crochet friends. So definitely, y'all. If you see the people putting in yarn balls, they will give you a follow back. You follow them, they follow you. You guys know how to play the game, right? So y'all do that. Pick each other up. We'll do that. It's a great day. It's the month end, and y'all just support each other. This blue-green yarn that I'm using is Lion Brand Landscapes. It's something that I had in my stash, and it is an absolutely beautiful yarn. It's called Blue Lagoon. Now, when I make these twisty ear warmers, I like to use a bulky weight yarn just because it makes them work up faster. Now, you could use just a 4-weight yarn as well. You would just need to do more rows. A lot of people do them with a 4-weight and not the bulky. I like to speed through these. I'm going to be donating all of these that I made. I might keep one or two because I do like the ear warmers. I might have to keep this one. I really like black. Black is like my favorite color. And anyhow, I'm really digging this one. I'm really liking this. I can't wait till it gets to the purple. So, anyhow, because I want to do like a bulky weight and use a bigger hook, I'm using a K 10.5, which is a 6.5 millimeter hook this morning. The green yarn by itself was not thick enough for a size K hook. So what I did is I put black with it and paired those together. That way it got it up to a bulky weight. Now, once again, as a reminder, if you are going to gift your projects and you mix medias like this, it is my recommendation to put some kind of a tag, let whoever know that you're giving it to do not machine wash, but to hand wash, preferably cold, hand wash cold, and lay flat to dry. That way you don't have any unwanted shrinkage. Nobody wants shrinkage. So anyhow, definitely be sure and alert them. Okay, we've got a puzzle piece here. I can do a puzzle. Hallelujah. Yeah, it is working out, Brita, as each row is a different color, like by itself. I'm not controlling any of the colors, guys. I'm just letting this flow. And it's just kind of working out. Now, again, as I'm working on this, I don't know if you saw, I just pulled up one strand of the green there. I missed the black yarn there. So make sure as you're working two strands, you do have to kind of watch and pay attention that you're not missing any of your loops or strands. Let's see, is Tony Ann having problems? Okay, yeah, if you're having problems with the sound, exit and come back in. Sometimes it gets a little wonky. And here we go. We're coming up to the end. Okay. Now, once again, when I finish this row, as you remember, I put in my little stitch marker. Where's Leah at? I don't know if Leah's here this morning, but I did this in honor of her. So I marked my very last stitch. That helps me to identify this when I'm coming back around. When I do the last stitch here, what I like to do is I like to go under both loops. So instead of just going under the back loop, uh, I go under both, okay, with my half double. Now I'm going to chain one, again, turn my work. This chain one does not count as a stitch, okay, so you're going to ignore that. And again, I'm going to start working into the back loop, so ignore the one here in the front and do your half double into the back loop. And then right away, before I forget, I'm going to put in my stitch marker to identify that very first stitch that I did. You will definitely appreciate that down the road when you come to the other side. A lot of times what happens if you're a new crocheter, when you get to the ends, it's difficult to identify, okay, where did I start? Where did I stop? And this will help you to quickly identify that and feel confident. As you get more experience, you can sometimes forego those. There's a lot of kidding that I don't use stitch markers because I've done it enough that I can see what the stitches look like. I know what to look for. But I've been crocheting for 40 years, and there are some projects where I use my stitch markers every time because it just is, I'm just not seeing it. So don't be afraid or bashful. If you don't have the stitch markers, grab something from around the house. Grab a safety pin out of your sewing kit. Grab a hairpin out of your hair stuff, right? Like there's other possibilities that you can use for the stitch markers. I've even used like a bread tie before. I think we were on vacation or something, and I didn't bring any stitch markers with me, and I really needed them. So I went and got one of those twisties, whatever you need, just improvise. So when we work in the back loop, what it does is it leaves behind this really cool line of texture. So I'm not doing anything special, but you can see on these, this one is a little harder to see because of all the colors, but you can really see the texture like on this one. And again, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just working in the back loop. So as you look at your crochet stitches, you normally have this sideways V, and you can see it really good here with the teal colors. Normally you would work under both of those loops. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm skipping this one. The one that is facing me is called the front loop. The one that is away from me, this is the back loop. So I'm ignoring this one and I'm just working that half double under the back loop. And you can see by skipping that, that's what's leaving that really cool texture. Joni says, I use scrap pieces of yarn sometimes. There you go, Joni. That's a great tip as well. Um, Gloria said, I use a strand of yarn for in a different color. Perfect. That is amazing. So you can, there's lots of things you can work with. Looks like we're turning to blue. I guess we've got to do some blue, then we're going to get to the purple. But it's definitely transitioning again. Gosh, isn't this? You can see why I didn't want to work on the Mucho Mango today. I had this yarn sitting next to me, and it was calling my name. It was saying, April, April, come use me this morning. You definitely want to use this beautiful yarn. So I was like, okay, I'm changing things up. Wild Wheeler, changing up the schedule. I don't know what that's going to do to my YouTube thing. I know. I can't wait to get to the purple too. Look at that's what's coming. Look, we're almost there, y'all. Almost there. This yarn, Tiffany, is called Landscapes by Lion Brand. And this is the colorway Blue Lagoon. They have other colorways as well. I have some that are like a hot pink and orange and really, really pretty colors. There's some more neutral colors that have more like browns and stuff in them. But isn't that gorgeous? And when I make my twisty ear warmers, I like to do it with a bulky weight yarn so they work up quicker. And this yarn by itself is a 4 weight. So what I did is I am pairing it with this heat wave yarn that I had. Y'all, don't go buy the heat wave. I'm not saying that. It's just something that I had. I picked this up at Ollie's because it was black and I use a lot of black. And it was on sale for $2.99. And then I had 15% off of that. So I can't do that much math this morning, but they were less than $3 a skein. So I picked up like, I don't know, like 6 of them or something. And I thought, oh, they'll be great when I make hats and stuff. But it's just black yarn. So I'm just putting these two together so that it becomes a bulky weight yarn. But yeah, it's really fun. I'm very much digging this colorway, and that's why this morning I was like, I can't stand it. I have to do this, and I have to do it on the live. I think everybody else would appreciate it too. It's a fun way to head for me to head into the weekend, right, with some bright, fun colors. Uh, I really like it, and these twisty ear warmers, guys, they're great for in between projects. They're great for gifting. If you've got children, you can great stocking stuffers. If you've got a niece or you want to, put something together for a family member, they're great for that as well. They don't take a lot of yarn. They don't take long to work up. I can usually do one in a morning before I go to work. Now I do get up kind of early. I've never actually timed how long they take me, but we started this on the live this morning and we're on the 4th row. I do a total of 8 rows. So you can see on this one here, if we put a tape measure on it. Now, if you're doing a child size, you probably wouldn't want to go this thick. This one's about 4 inches. It does kind of stretch out a little bit, but I try to do like between 4 and 5. If I stretch it, it's to 5. This one here, I finished this one this morning. I started it last night. Again, it's like 4.5, 5. But if you're doing a kid one, you might not need as thick of one. Yes, a great coworker gift, definitely. Julie, good morning. Welcome in. So anyhow, I hope everybody has had a fabulous week. I do have a ton of these that I've made, so y'all have to be prepared. I'm going to be probably putting out some videos of all these different hats and stuff that I've made. I photographed some of them yesterday, and I published one little bucket hat that I made yesterday. But oh, teacher gift. Yeah, that's a great idea, Paloma. That would be a like around the holidays kind of gift if you want to give something to the teachers. Mama Wheeler was a teacher. She would have probably appreciated one of these back in the day. My mom is a retired teacher. As a coworker, I gave some of these last year to my coworkers. I made them and shipped them up. Look at that purple, y'all. Wowzers. Is it coming through good on the screen? Do I need to back up? Sometimes it gets like out of focus. I guess if I held still. Wow. Wow. Y'all. What is not to love? I mean, whew, I love it. I love it. Oh, and I love it with the black, right? Wonder what it would look like with the white. Do you think it would it would give it a totally different look with the white? I might have to do a white one too. I don't know if it would look as good. I have 2 of these. I'm working with one and I brought this one out to show everybody what the yarn is. I wonder what it would look like with the white. Okay, let's not get a squirrel, April. Let's keep focusing here. But that was a total squirrel moment. I'm not going to lie. I do a total of 8 rows, Martha, and I try to make mine about 4.5 to 5 inches wide. But you could make it thicker, you could make it thinner, however you want to do that. Now here we are. Here's our hook minder or stitch marker. Okay, this was our last stitch. So I'm going to pop out my stitch marker. Now, when I get to the last one here, I actually go under both loops. So I yarn over and I go under both and do my half double that way. It just gives it a little more stability around the edge. I'm going to be sewing this to the other side. And hopefully I'll get through that on the live if I crochet and stop yapping. Chain 1. Now I'm going to turn my work. This chain 1 does not count as your first stitch. I'm going to work into this first stitch and I'm going to work a half double into the back loop. Now, right away, again, pop in your stitch marker and identify that as your first stitch. That way, when you come back around, it's going to make it very easy and obvious where you're ending. Okay. So as we look at our stitches, once again, the stitches look like a sideways V. This is the top of our stitch. When you're working with half doubles, new crocheters sometimes will see this and think that is the top of the stitch. Make sure you're turning all the way up to the top, not looking at the side. This loop that is facing towards me is called the front loop. This one that is away from me is called back loop. And we're going under only the back loop. So yarn over, go underneath the back loop. Oops, I dropped a strand here. Let me pick up my strand. Under the back loop, grab up my loop. Now we have 3. Now keep in mind I have double strand. So really it looks like 2, 4, 6, but really it's still 3. Okay. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Move to the next stitch. Again, half double into the back loop. Working my way along. Okay. Now, as we are working, what is happening is because we're skipping the front loop, it's leaving behind this line of texture. So it's doing that all on its own, just because I'm working into the back loop and ignoring that front loop. It's a very easy way to add definition and texture to your project. Okay. Let's see. Vicky, have a great weekend. Let's see. I know Mama Wheeler's back, y'all. She was up in Oregon, her and Papa Wheeler, and they got to see my niece and her son for the first time. So exciting. He's 7 months. He's smiley and happy. He's a chubby little thing and he's getting stronger. He like pulls himself up on his crib. I swear he's going to be crawling or I should say walking anytime. He's such a strong happy baby. So I know they had a great time, a lot of fun. Look, we're back into the blue. Wow. I think did Sparky, did you say that this is still available, this colorway? This is called Blue Lagoon, guys. If you're interested in this yarn, it's called Blue Lagoon. We're going to go all the way into this like lighter turquoise color. We haven't done that yet. That's really pretty too. Wowzers. It is still available. Very nice. Very nice. Yes, today, friends, if you're just hopping on, we are working on the twist ear warmer. I changed up the project for today. This yarn was sitting next to me and it was calling out my name. It was calling out my name. So I changed it up and we're working on this ear warmer today. I would love to get through to the very end. Can anybody give me a time check? I'm not sure what time it is. Oh, you know what? My iPad actually tells me it's 8:38. My other tablet didn't tell me that. That's very cool. Thank you, iPad. I guess you were worth all the money that I spent on you. Arlene said, I love that. It's gorgeous. It really is. It's really a fun colorway. Look at that aqua coming in now. Wow. This is a stunner. I have to tell y'all, I'm going to probably keep this one for myself. I should have measured it around my head to make sure it's the right size. I have kind of a big head, I think, or maybe I have a normal head. I don't know. Is landscapes yarn easy to work with? I think it is, Paloma. It's kind of slippery. Um, but when you pair it with the acrylic like I'm doing, it makes it even easier to work with. Now, this yarn that I have in the stash, I don't think they are still selling this. They come in like wheels. This one's all messed up. This yarn is a little harder. This yarn's very thin compared to this stuff. So when I'm actually working with this yarn, I'll put 2 strands to get it up to a 4 weight, and then I'll pair another one with it. So like on this one right here, you can see I actually did 2 strands. If you look right here, there is 1 strand, Then there's the dark pink, which was the second strand. So that basically equaled like a 4 weight. And then I also had the black strand. So when I made this one, I worked with 3 different strands, just getting it up into the thickness that I wanted. I think if I was using this on its own, it would be really, you'd have to use such a small hook with it. And I think they call this a 4 weight, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, yeah, they call it a 4 weight, but, and they call for an H8 5 millimeter. Um, let's just say not all 4 weights are created equal, because this black is a 4 weight. And I don't know, it doesn't seem like a 4 weight to me. It seems a lot thinner. And it kind of is inconsistent. It's probably why it's discontinued. I don't think they still manufacture this. I've had it for a long time, but anyhow, I'm just using up scraps. I'm scrap busting. Stacy, good morning. Mrs. Chris. So, for those that are asking what the yarn is that I'm using, it's Lion Brand Landscapes. And this is still available on the Lion Brand website. Okay. So, Lion Brand websites. I used a rainbow like landscape. Yeah, I have some rainbow ones as well. I've got some that are bright pinks. A lot of this yarn, I bought some myself, but a lot of it came from Mom and Papa Wheeler. They found it at a thrift store in Florida when they bought that stash up. There was a lot of this in there. This one is called Blue Lagoon, and I don't remember if this was part of that stash or if it's one that I had, but it doesn't matter. Machine wash, gentle, lay flat to dry, 100% acrylic. So it is an acrylic yarn if you have like wool allergies or something. I need the volcano. It is so pretty. I think I have some of that volcano, Sparky. I'm positive that I do. What else do I have? Let's see. I have some of this. Here's some more of this yarn. This is a different colorway. This one's called Desert Spring. You can see I have 1, 2, 3. But this one is, this will be really pretty. When I work with this one, I was thinking about putting it with a brown, but maybe not this brown. Um, I don't know. I just pull out these random colors that I've got and see what looks good. This would probably look pretty good if I put it with this. So what would happen is this lighter color would make this the star of the show. Oh yes, Chris, wool allergies. Definitely. This is 100% acrylic. A lot of the yarns that are pretty like this are wool. This one is another clearance one. But again, this one is 100% acrylic from Lion Brand. Really pretty. I like that pink in there. So anyhow, I'll probably make one with that too. I don't know. I'm pulling all these out. That one looks like a Walmart clearance tag to me, 250. So maybe these were from Wally World. That one says $2. This one says $3. Who knows? Darker brown. Yeah, anyhow, we'll see. I think it would look nice too with like this brown right here. I was thinking more of a dark chocolatey color. So that kind of becomes more hidden in the with the colors, right? If I put a brown with it, I would like it to be more like this. This is like a mahogany. This is kind of more like a nutmeg or something, or maybe like I don't know. I want to find. I probably have in my stash a 4-weight acrylic that's that color. So anyhow, sorry, squirrel, y'all. Let me get back on track here. But they have a ton of different colorways. My lap runneth over. You should see the table next to me. Desert Spring is still made as well. Nice. Landscapes is on clearance on the Lion Brand website. Wow, nice. That's cool. Well, I guess I picked the right time to talk about it. I got everybody excited about landscapes yarn now. That was not my intent, but yes, Hannah, squirrel, totally. These darn squirrels. Squirrels happen. Guys, as I'm working these two strands, I just bumped the camera. You want to make sure that you're keeping these strands together. Okay. So you see me pulling on these like this. And what I'm trying to do is align these two strands to keep the tension on both. So you'll definitely want to make sure that you're doing that. That way, your feeding hand, however you hold your yarn, you want both strands to come out nice and fluid. Okay. This yarn, when you work two strands, sometimes what happens is I will miss a strand. So, like, I'll skip the black and I'll just pull the blue through, and that will create a problem. Okay. So, make sure as you're working with both your strands, keep an eye on that. And you'll see I keep going like this to smooth it out. You just have to kind of be patient and work with it. But in the long run, I feel like it's really worth it, because look at those colors we're getting. I mean, that black, it would be nice worked on its own as well. If you are just joining, the reason why I have put two strands together is because I wanted to go with a bigger crochet hook. I wanted this to be more of a bulky weight so that it works up faster. And number two is it's squishier, right? It's thicker. It's going to be cozier in theory around my ears, keeping them nice and toasty in the winter. So I think it's all around a win-win situation. But you definitely do not have to put both strands together. You could just work with the one strand. You would just use a smaller hook. I would use whatever is on the back of my yarn that it recommends. So this one calls for a K 10 and a half. Wow, it actually calls for that, which what I'm actually using, but I've added an extra strand in there. So you could do that as well. It would probably just be looser. Yes, I'm stash busting, guys. I'm just trying to go through and use up some of these old yarns that I have. But you can do ear warmers in any colors. This is one that I worked up. I don't know if this one is still around or available. It's just something that I had, but you can see it looks great with a pink. Here's an example if you want more natural colors. I've done some with brown. This one has a bamboo yarn with acrylic, and then the green was an acrylic yarn. So again, this one is not so rigid. It's a little thinner yarn. So you have to experiment and see what you like for yourself. And I chained a starting chain of 162. But what you'll want to do is just chain up as many as you think and then measure around your ears and your head as you're doing it. Okay, here we go. Popping out our stitch marker. This is our last stitch here. When I do the last stitch, instead of going under just the back loop, I go under both loops. Okay. I'm going to be sewing it on this edge right here. So I just want it a little more stable. I chained, yes, Rita, 100 and, or not 160, 62. I'm used to doing blankets, y'all. 62 chains, 62. Chain one. Now I'm going to turn my work. Now, this chain that I did does not count as a stitch. You can see it right here. I'm actually going to go into the back loop of this first stitch right here. So once again, this loop that is facing me, we're going to skip that one, go into the back, yarn over, grab up our loop. So now we have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now immediately I'm going to put back in my stitch marker to identify that first stitch out. Pop in that little guy. That will be your indication when you get back around. You will be glad you did that. Okay, so here we go. All we're doing is working half double crochets the entire way down. Now, the thing is, as we work these, I'm not working under both loops. I'm working under the back loop only. So if you are a new crocheter, what that means, when you look at your stitches, this is the top of the stitch. You can see it looks like a sideways V right here. Normally we work under both those loops with our crochet hook. In this case, I'm working only under the back loop. So this one that's right here facing me, this is called the front loop. This one that is away from me, get your black in there too. This one that's away from me is called the back loop. So instead of going under both of those, we're going just under the back one. So same thing, I yarn over, under the back loop, grab up my loop. So now we have 3, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. and I'm going to continue working that all the way across. I'm going to do a total of 8 rows of these. You could do more, you could do less. Once again, it depends on how thick you want your ear warmer. When you work in the back loop, what happens is it gives it this awesome effect where it leaves behind this row of texture. So you can kind of see it here as well. Um, I work my beanie hats the same way, except when I do my beanie hats, I actually do single crochet. Some of you guys have seen me make those. And I'm going to do a total of 8 rows. So this is our first row. This is our second. You can see they kind of become these 2-row groupings. So here's 2, here's 2. I'm on row 6 right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So once I get done with this row, we're going to have 2 more rows, and then we're going to be joining this ear warmer together. And that's where you're going to get your little twist action when we sew it. So once again, work in your back loop all the way down. And I'm doing a total of 8. Now, if you're making child size, you might not want to do 8 rows. If you're working with a thinner yarn and a smaller hook, you might need more rows. It all comes down to how wide it is. Okay. So you would get your tape measure. Right now, I'm about 3 inches. So you might want to go thicker than that, but also maybe you want it thinner. It just depends, right? If you're doing a child size, you might need only, I don't know, 4 rows. You'll have to experiment with that depending on what size you're making. So, like I said, I tend to do 8 rows. 8 rows gives us about 4.5, 5 inches wide. And I feel like that's a good size to cover up the ears, but it's not too bulky. So close to 50K. Thank you, everybody, for all of the screen taps this morning. I appreciate that. Oh, you guys knocked out that gift goal too. Wow. Let me I get to yakking over here and I'm not paying attention. So let me set up another one here. Thank you all so much for the gifts this morning. Very exciting end of the month here. This is the last month. We did it. All right. 50,000. Thank you guys all so much for all of the screen taps this morning. And welcome in if you are new to my channel. My name is April, and I am a hobby crocheter. I've seen a number of new followers popping up this morning. Y'all, I get to rambling on about these stitches, and sometimes I miss some of you popping on here as new followers. So I just wanted to take a moment and say welcome in. Appreciate having you here. I say all the time, this is a great little community. This fiber arts crochet. I come on every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7:30 Central. I'm not an expert crocheter, guys. I just enjoy crocheting. I like talking about crochet, but I come on just to kind of give a morning chat with all of you guys and see what projects you're working on, show you some of my stuff, and we just all hang out and have our coffee, and it's a good time. So feel free to hit that follow button if you have not. But again, my name is April. You may be wondering, well, what is Wheeler 8 Acres? And my husband and I, we relocated from Arizona to Northeast Alabama a little over 4 years ago. And my husband, he loves off-roading. He's a truck driver. He loves 4x4s and off-roading and mud trucks and all the, you know, ATCs, quads, motorcycle, all that stuff. And his nickname is Mr. Wheeler. And so by default, I am Mrs. Wheeler. And when we bought our place here, we bought 8 acres. And I have live streams of the deer that come into our place and my bird feeders and whatnot. You can see those over on YouTube. But anyhow, because our little nickname is Wheeler, yes, boys and their toys, right? He can never have enough toys. And there's nothing wrong with that. He never says a word about my crocheting. He can have all the toys he wants. But anyhow, Wheeler Eight Anchors is our nickname that we call our place here. And in the beginning, I was posting bird videos and canning videos and wine videos and all these other things that I do. But over the years on my TikTok, I have become a little more crochet focused. And so, anyhow, everybody knows me as Wheeler. I answer to Wheeler. I answer to April, whatever you want to call me. Hey, you, I'll answer. But anyhow, thanks for hanging out with us this week. It's been a great week once again and a fabulous end to the month, I must say. So here we are to our last stitch. My little stitch marker is popping out at me saying, Here I am. All right, so when we do our very last stitch, I like to go under both loops, both the front loop and the back loop. And anyhow, it just kind of makes it a little more stable on the edges, but still the same half double crochet. Okay, so that completes row number 6. Now I'm going to do a total of 8 rows. I'm going to chain 1, and immediately I'm going to turn my work. Now this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Okay, you're just going to ignore that. We're going to work into the first stitch, and again, we're going to do a half double crochet into the back loop only. And right away, I'm going to pop back in my stitch marker. That is my first stitch. We want to identify that. Okay, now I'm going to continue working a half double crochet all the way down. That's all this project is. I did a starting chain of 62. I worked a half double crochet into the back loop, the back bump of my starting chain, and every single row that I'm doing is half doubles. So very, very easy stitch to do. There's not a lot of thinking. This is a great in front of the TV kind of project. These are my favorite when I get kind of burnt out and I just need something to keep me occupied. But, I'm focused on TV or whatever. Um, I can watch other people's lives and everything. It's a lot of fun. So as we work these half doubles, I am working in the back loop only. Mimi, give me just 1 second and I will show you the Lion Brand yarn that I'm using. Let's talk about these half doubles. So when we look at our crochet stitches, okay, you want to turn your work so that you are looking at the top. Sometimes with new crocheters, we can get mixed up because when you look at the side, it also mimics the little V that is notorious for being on top. So make all the way up, turn up, yo, and you can see the little sideways V there. Normally we work under both loops. When we work in the back loop only, we're working under this side that is away from me, okay? So this loop that is facing me is called the front loop. This side that is away from me is called the back loop. And as we are working this, what is happening because we are skipping the front loop is it's leaving behind this really cool line of texture. And you can see it in different colorways, sometimes easier. Like on this one, do you see how it's got that awesome texture coming through? Those are where we skipped the front loop and you can see them all shining through there. So that is the effect that we're getting by working in that back loop. Now I have paired two yarns together today to make it more of a bulky weight yarn. But the bluish color that I'm using, somebody mentioned earlier, Paloma, I think, said it looks like, what are those? The Northern Lights. Doesn't it look like the Northern Lights with the green and that purple? Wow, it's so pretty. Anyhow, Lion Brand Landscapes. This is the colorway Blue Lagoon. Now, they do still have this on the Lion Brand website, and somebody mentioned it's on sale right now. So anyhow, you could get that. I think some of it might be on clearance. I have paired it with Heat Wave yarn. This is just something I had in my stash. It's black. I got it for cheap at Ollie's, $2.99, and I had a 15% off coupon as well. So very economical. But what we are making today are these twist ear warmers. Okay, so this is what it looks like. When it's cold in the winter, and sometimes I've got long hair. Not on sale, just clearance. Okay, thank you, Jen. So Lion Brand does still have some on clearance if you want to get some. Um, with long hair, sometimes I have my hair up in a messy bun. And most days I have it up in a messy bun. And I don't want a bulky hat on my head. So what I like are these little headband ear warmers. And I just think that they're a great way to keep my ears warm. The funny thing is, black yarn will always heat up if it's in the sun. Right, that is true. Naturally, that's what happens. So I'm just using some black yarn that I had to make it a bulky weight, and we are using this really pretty yarn here, but I paired it with the black. So the only reason I did that is to just get it a thicker yarn, a bulkier yarn. So the way that I did this is I chained 62. Okay, so you would chain, you're probably going to need at least 50 if you're like a woman, um, and have kind of an average sized head. Everybody has a different head circumference. Okay, so what you would do is you would chain what you think is about the amount that you need. Okay, and then what you do is you wrap your chain around your forehead, over your ears, behind your neck, where you want your headband or ear warmer to be sitting. Okay. And you bring it up to the front of your forehead and you make sure you have enough chains to go all the way around your head. So for me, that was 62 chains. And I'm using a size K 10.5, which is a 6.5 millimeter hook. Now, if you are using, say, a H8, a 5 millimeter hook with thinner yarn, obviously you're going to need more chains than what I did. So it's hard for me to say do this amount because everybody is going to choose different yarns and whatnot. So you chain up, measure that around your forehead so that you get it kind of to the size that you want. Make sure it's not too tight. And remember, when we go to sew this together, which we'll be sewing it together soon, you're going to have some overlap here where you're going to lose a little bit from that overlap. Okay, so make sure it's not too tight around your ears. Then what you're going to do is I worked into the back bump of that chain and I worked a half double crochet the whole way down into the chain. Now all I'm doing is I'm working back and forth with half doubles and I'm working into that back loop only with a half double crochet. I'm going to do a total of 8 rows and that will get me to about 4.5, 5 inches wide. And then I'm going to sew this together. So after this row, I have one more, and then we're going to be stitching it up and making it into the little twisty. Okay, so by working in the back loop, what is happening is that line of texture that you see there is naturally being created as we work along. So very, very easy to do. Does that help with explain what project I'm working on today? This is a great beginner project. If you're a seasoned crocheter, it's a great in-between project. If you need a stocking stuffer, it is great for a stocking stuffer. If you need a gift for a coworker, you're not going to spend a lot of time and energy, and if they don't like it, you're not going to have your feelings hurt. It's one of those things, right? So they work up rather quickly, which is always a plus in my book. I use these to get myself out of a little slump. You know, when you lose your Crojo and you're like, what can I do in the meantime before I start another big project or a blanket or a handbag or a cardigan? All the things that we all are working on all the time, right? Sometimes we just need a little easy in between project where you're not having to do a lot of counting, you're not having to do a lot of um, thinking. You can just chill in front of the TV, watch your favorite show, binge something on Netflix, whatever. This is a great in between project. If you need something to work on in the car, you're going on a little road trip an hour away, throw a skein of yarn in, grab your hook, you're good to go. You could have one of these finished in your car ride. Very nice, easy project. So that's why I like to come on and make these. And it is very beginner friendly. If you know how to make a half double crochet, my yarn's very twisted up here, y'all. I got to take a minute and try to get this undoing whatever it's doing here. It's misbehaving is what it's doing. My yarn is misbehaving. I'm towards the end of this skein, and that's why, but I want to try to use this up. So let's just try to do a little unraveling here. I only have this much left, and I think it's the perfect amount to finish the project. So sorry, I'm probably making y'all seasick on the feed while I'm trying to undo this. What is the best stitch to use for tips? Christine, I use all sorts of stitches. It depends on your experience level. I don't know that I even per se have a favorite stitch. They all kind of serve a different purpose. For beginners, if you're a beginner, I would say definitely spend time on your single crochet, spend time on your chain, spend time on your double crochet, and what I'm doing right now, your half double crochet. I think those four stitches are kind of um, the foundation of the crochet learning. So, chain, single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet. Definitely spend your time learning those. They're all used for different reasons. You guys see me use different stitches every day. I'm using a different stitch. So, you know, when I did this square, we did double crochets. We did two together treble crochets, double crochet, treble crochet. Um, Same thing on this one. This is all double crochets at the edge. Here's a half double. These are half doubles. So again, double, half double, double, treble, right? Double crochet is probably the most common stitch. I would certainly agree with that. Here we did puff stitches to give it a little effect of the center of a flower. But we did chains here, we did slip stitches, we did single crochet, half double, doubles. So, those are kind of the ones that I use frequently. Double crochet is definitely one you want to learn at the beginning. I fully agree with that, Sparky. Sorry, did I miss some other comments? Pin some comments for me, guys, if I missed them, or feel free to ask again in the chat, guys. I got kind of I wasn't watching the comments as I was trying to get this nonsense unnonsensed here. It's misbehaving. I've got naughty yarn, as somebody said. Yes, and learn the slip stitch. Thank you, Sparky. That is a great tip as well. Um, I'm gonna have to get my knot slayer here, guys, because we're pretty tight in this. If I can get it out of the little holder here. Let me see if I can get this. Where'd it go? I'm trying to get this untangled. And this black is really hard to see. What I'm using right here, guys, is called a knot slayer. These come from Miss Karen. I don't know if Karen is still here in the chat, but anyhow, it's got a point on one end, and then it's got some beads, and it's kind of heavy weighted. And you can put this in your little stitches to try to open up when you get a little knot like this, and they come right out. So it's a great little tool to have. And you can there's Miss Karen. If somebody could pin Miss Karen, she makes these, and you just need to message her over on her Etsy. You can buy them. She makes custom ones. If you've got a special thing that you like, she'll try to find some beads for you. But she is fabulous. So definitely give Miss Karen a follow if you're looking for just like that. Okay, I think we're better now. Let's put this away before I hurt myself. It is rather sharp, so I don't like to leave it in my lap, but it works great. What's a good breathable stitch, do you think? Um, wow. Wow, breathable. Maybe a V-stitch? V-stitch is kind of open. Christine, it does kind of depend on your skill level. Does anybody else have any recommendations for a good breathable stitch? Here we are to the very end here, and we're going to pop out our stitch marker. Mesh stitch might be good. I used a mesh stitch when I did my market bag. Maggie says V-stitch, mesh stitch. There you go. So our last stitch here, I'm going to do a half double And I'm going to put it under both loops when I finish that stitch. I'm going to chain 1. And as I work these up, guys, this is where I started. We had row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on the last row right now. Moss stitch, says Linda. Now, this chain 1 that I did here does not count as a stitch, okay? So I'm going to go into the first stitch here, and I'm going to put a half double, once again, working into that back loop. Now, again, put in your stitch marker. Just do this as a habit. And you're going to continue working all the way across. Again, this is the last row. And then you're going to see we're going to stitch this together and turn this into the head warmer. So stick around here. The good part is coming up. It's a coming, folks. This won't take me very long here, and we will be all the way through. So again, if you're just joining on, we're making twisty ear warmers. This is a great project if you're in between projects, if you've lost your crojo, if you're a beginner. This is a fabulous beginner stitch to learn your half double. It's pretty forgiving and very easy to do. Great if you're going on a road trip, if you need a present for a teacher, if you need a present for a coworker. You can make ear warmers for your kids. Very great. I think especially cute on little girls when you've got their hair up in a little ponytail, right? The crisscross you can put in the front. This is what we're going to start next is this twisty action. This is what it looks like underneath. So you could wear this where this is flat up against your forehead, or you could put this to behind your head. Or you could put this up on your forehead. That's how I like to wear it with the twist in the front. Kind of looks really cute. Here's another colorway. You can see here the little twist. Same thing. Here's what the back looks like. We're working these half doubles into the back loop, and that's what's giving it this really cool line of texture. So again, very fun project. I woke up this morning and I just felt like making another ear warmer. I was supposed to work on the Mucho Mango blanket. We'll eventually work on that again, but I wasn't feeling it this morning. So I thought this would be fun. Honestly, what happened is I've had this yarn sitting next to me, this yarn right here that I'm working with, and it has been calling to me. It keeps saying, April, you know you want to come use this yarn. It's called Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon. Paloma said it looked like the what are the lights? The Northern Lights, but it's Landscapes by Lion Brand. Such a pretty, pretty yarn, and I've just paired it with some black yarn to make it so it's a bulky weight. You don't have to pair it. You could just use that yarn as as on its own. It would be totally fine as well. But I put it with a black acrylic like ear warming. This is the yarn I'm using. It's called Heat Wave. I had this. I think I've got like 8 skeins of this. Oh, there's a deer out in the pasture. Sorry, squirrel. I picked it up at Ollie's when they had it. It was there and it was $2.99, and then I had a 15% off coupon, 15% off my entire order. So, you know, when you're a yarny like I am, you just grab yarn. One can never have enough. Did you all just chuckle right then? Everybody's like, April, you have enough yarn. Stop buying yarn. Uh, I'll tell you, I have probably gone through, I don't know, 30 skeins in the last 2 weeks when I'm doing this stash busting. I don't know how many bucket hats and Aurora Borealis. Yes, Sparky, thank you. The Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis. I've never seen the Aurora Borealis in person. I went, my mom, Mama Wheeler and Papa Wheeler, they had a place in Homer, Alaska. And I was lucky enough to be able to go there one summer to visit. I went in July. That was my mom's birthday present. You guys know she had her birthday earlier this month. And this has been, gosh, what, Mom, like 10 or 12 years ago? But I was very excited to go. They had a cabin, they had a little bear den, and I got to go halibut fishing. We got to go see the um, glacier. We went on a little glacier trip. We went down to Soldotna. It was awesome. One of the coolest things that I saw were the terns. Terns are birds. I don't know if anybody knows what a tern is, but we went to, they call it, was it called Tern Lake? Anyhow, I loved watching the terns. I could watch birds for hours. I loved seeing the eagles. But here's the thing. Uh, the Northern Lights, I don't know if it was because I'm not very educated with that, Aurora Borealis, but um, I don't know. It was overcast when I was there, and it drizzled. It was a rain like I've never experienced rain before, but now we have rain like that here in Alabama sometimes, where it's literally like a mist. It's like if I was to get a water bottle and put it on the mist setting, that's what it was like. So I don't know, maybe the northern lights don't happen in summer, but I do remember it was overcast. So forgive my ignorance. Either way, when I was in Alaska, I didn't get to see it. But I have, of course, seen it on TV and all that. And Jen said the last few years they've been able to see it up by her. I know that happens too. Here we are, guys. Last stitch. Are you ready? Pop out my stitch marker under both loops for the last stitch, half double. It was summer. You see the northern lights in winter. Well, there you go. Your brilliant daughter has been educated once again. Okay, now I'm going to snip off. When I snip off, guys, this is the width of my head warmer, okay? Don't snip off here at the top. What you want to do, I try to loop my yarn around once and I hold it up and then I snip off, okay? By doing that, what I'm doing is I'm giving myself a long tail to weave in, okay? So let's put this black and green off to the side here, and we're going to make some magic. I know y'all have been waiting for this part. Okay, so I'm going to pop out my stitch marker on my other side. Now, as we look at this, I made 8 rows. Here is where I first started. So can you see how these two go together? 2, 2, 2. So I've got 8 and their line is in the middle. When I look at the other side, it looks different. Okay, so it's got like the line here. I like to make it so that this side where I've got 2, 2, 2, 2 is on the outside. So here it is like this. 2, 2, 2, 2. So that is what I like to do for the outside of my ear warmer. So because that's the outside, I put these two sides together. Okay, so the right side I'm putting in and I bring it up in half. Okay, so once again, 2, 2, 2, 2 on the inside. Now, as I bring this up, I slide this side of the right, my right side, to the right, to the right, to the right. Okay, so you can see I've got this one is hanging over longer. On this side, this one is hanging over longer. I bring this tail up, put it forward, get it out of my way. Now what I do is I bend this side backwards. Okay, I make a little sandwich. Now I'm going to put this tail this way. This side I'm going to bring forward and make the other side of my sandwich. So now I have a total of 4 sides together. So I've got this one here, this one that has a tail, this one here in the middle also has the tail, and then we have the outside. So I call this a sandwich. Now, other people, you will hear this referred to as the Pac-Man kiss. And the reason why is if you basically fold these in half, it's the Pac-Man kiss. You put them together, and that's how you come up with that. Okay? For me, I always call it a sandwich. I don't know why. That's just what I call it because I'm weird, I guess. Okay? So now, as you look at this, it's got this weird twist. Just ignore that. Okay? Now I'm going to hold these 4 layers here in my hand with my wrist, and I'm going to get the tail that I just snipped off. And we're going to put this onto our needle, our darning needle. Okay? So get that yarn onto your needle, both strands. Okay, there we are. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to whip stitch all the way. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put my needle out this side over here to the very edge. And you can see that's where I ended right there. See that layer? So we want to give that a pull, make sure that comes nice and tight. Then I'm going to come over to this side over here to where the last stitch was. And I'm going to put my needle under that. Then I'm going to go through this edge over here all the way back through. There's no rules or absolutes that you have to do this way, guys. But the one thing that is very, very important as you're whip stitching this across is you want to make sure your needle is going under all 4 layers. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Over here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. If you miss this middle layer, sometimes it'll get sunken down. Then what's going to happen is your ear warmer is going to come apart. Okay, so I'm being very, very conscious as I'm doing this. I kind of skip along. There's the first layer. Here is the second layer. Here's a middle layer. That's number 3. And here we are to the other side. Okay, make sure you're getting underneath all of those really nice and solid. And then I just pull it down, cinch it up. Okay, and I'm just going to work my way all the way around. So here's the first layer. Here's that middle layer, another middle layer off to the other side. Whip it up. Okay. Sometimes I pull on these tails. See how that one likes to sneak in there and sink down? Don't let them sink down. Make sure you're pulling that up and securing all of those. And here we are to the very corner again. So there's our outside edge. Pull on this tail, get that guy up. Make sure you get through that stitch. And then off to the other side. Here's our last stitch over here. And when I get to this edge over here, I like to do another one to make sure this is nice and secure. Then I will turn my work. And again, this might be overkill, but this is what I do. I go back the other way using this same yarn tail. I secure this several times as I'm working this through. Okay. After you get the first securing, you don't have to really pay attention to those layers as much because I've secured it on the first. And just kind of work this through until I get kind of to the other side. You don't have to go all the way through. Sometimes this will get very tight on you as you're trying to pull this needle through. And what I do for this when it starts to get too tight, because it will, where it's really hard, see how I can't pull my needle through? You guys remember the little rubber fingers for like sorting papers? They have little short ones. I have the full size rubber fingers as well. I will wrap this around my needle, and this will help me to give some gripping action so that I can pull those through. Sparky mentioned also on the last live, one of them where I was doing this, to use like a rubber glove. That would work as well. But rubber will help you to hang on to a needle like this. Okay, so I've worked all the way across. I turned my work again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide this tail underneath a bunch of these loops. Okay, just kind of weave it in. We're going to tuck it in. And I'm going to do this again twice. You can see it's getting very, very tight and secure. And again, just kind of weave this back through a second time. Again, this is probably overkill, but this is how I like to do them, just so that they're very nice and secure. Okay, so once I've done that, now I'm going to go ahead and snip off this tail. That little guy, I'll tell you, it is not coming out. Okay, so here we go again. Now we still have this tail from where we first started. Now remember when I did my chain of 62, I left a pretty long tail. This is what I left. And the reason why I did that is because, again, I can kind of weave this back and forth and give it another layer of sewing and security. Okay, so let's get this onto our hook or our needle again. Same thing, I'm going to whip stitch this. And I just kind of grab these stitches all the way along, and just find a spot to kind of put your needle through. Again, there's no exact science. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You just kind of whip it up. You just whip it up. And I kind of work this through a few more times. Mama Wheeler says, quick, get to 80,000. She can tell this live is coming to an end. Honeybee, good morning. Okay, once I get over here, I will give it kind of another one on the end here, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to weave this through. Yes, we are wrapping off the live. Brooke, good morning. Friends, if you are new to my channel, welcome in. My name is April. I come live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7:30 Central. I like to explain about crochet stitches and whatnot and share the works that I'm doing. I am a hobby crocheter, but again, my name is April, so welcome in. I appreciate all of you being here. I'm using this little rubber thing to help pull this needle through. It becomes a little challenging. And I'm going to go ahead and snip off. If you have not given a follow, I am wrapping up here. So definitely hit that follow button if you would like. Let's see. Sadia, I don't know if I said that right, said a great productive morning here. It absolutely is. Brianne, good morning. So here we are. We have sewn our two sides together. Are you ready for the magic? Can we get a drum roll, please? 80,000 likes. You guys did it. 80,000. Thank you so much for all of the taps. Are we ready to do the twist? Here we go. I flip this up, right side it out, flip this little guy down, and just like magic, ear warmer complete. Check. Victoria, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Yes, I love the colors of this, y'all. I think this one is going to get kept. I really like it. So again, you could wear it with the twist to the front. You could wear the twist underneath and have it just flat in the front. You can make this as wide as you want for an ear warmer. You can make it thinner. This one I did a total of 8 rows, and it was about 4.5, almost 5 inches wide. So really, really fun, easy project. And remember, if you missed out on the live this morning, you can rewatch over on YouTube. My handle is Wheeler8Acres. So feel free to give a follow over there as well on YouTube, and you can rewatch these. Now, if you do want to rewatch, make sure you go to the live tab. When you look at my handle, you will see my profile. You will see videos, another bucket of categories that says shorts. There's also one that says live. Sherry says, I have that kind of yarn and don't know what to make with it besides an ear warmer. You could make a scarf with it, probably. I think it would be cute. Even it would like make a really pretty like granny square if you're going to make like a flower granny square, maybe for like a market bag or something. That would be kind of cute. It is kind of a unique yarn, but it is really pretty. So again, the yarn I used today, if you're just joining on, Landscapes Lion Brand, Blue Lagoon. Thank you to all of the new followers this morning. Thank you to all of the subscribers. I appreciate all of your support this last month. We've had a number of new followers as well. Thank you for all the gifts, likes, shares, screen taps, all the things, folks. Thanks for making July a fabulous month. I look forward to an awesome August as well. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.